Well, we're going to find out as we load into Border. Map number 2 for this series. We'll have G2 starting on defense and Empire starting on attack. Because of that, G2 get to ban first, as is the norm.
All right. Jaeger ban incoming, that was speculated?
I do anticipate it. Dev was absolutely right when he said that one of the best maps to ban Jaeger on is Border. But yeah, I mean, the Jaeger ban on Coastline was also very important. I think in general, taking out Jaeger, period, is important. As is Ashe when you are worried about confronting her. It's a pretty big and deliberate counter pick there for G2.
Monty banned by Empire. They don't want to have to deal with the shields of Pengu.
It's true, it's true. This is, by the way, the second map in a row where G2 will start on defense.
A mirror ban from Empire.
Okay, standard stuff here. Will the Jaeger come out is the question. The answer...
Hey!
There it is.
There
answer
it
yes.
Is. I mean, he's so good on Jaeger. Joystick is so good on Jaeger, but the Vigil play on Coastline was so impressive as well. Being able to flex onto other roles, man. I think after his showing, though, in this tournament in particular, Jaeger is going to be an insta-ban. It was for a while, kind of slowed down. Now it's back.
Now here's the thing about Jaeger. He's one of the very few operators who has a distinctly unique ability in terms of its baseline, its function, which is catching those throwables, catching those projectiles. Technically speaking, no one else directly does that. Of course, there are some other circumstances, like for electricity, where you can have that happen, but it's unusual and it's not the design purpose of certain operators. So Jaeger is unique in that regard, and getting rid of him is going to hurt both teams on the defensive half. But when you are confident in your ability to use both projectiles and throwables to your advantage, more so than you would expect the enemy team to be capable of, hey, why not get rid of Jaeger? And more importantly, as stated before, yeah, Joystick's very good on Jaeger. So G2, good bans. I think overall they're trying to isolate one player in particular, that's Joystick, and an Ashe and Jaeger ban going to probably hurt him in his play here. But he has been playing a lot of Jackal, so we'll probably see that quite a lot.
They've been trying to find out exactly what Joystick's flexibility is going to be, whether it's going to be on IQ, whether it's going to be on that Jackal, as you noted. I think the IQ is probably a better choice for him, but...
IQ or Jackal, I mean, on...
both work.
Okay, so this is one of G2's least played maps, as we just saw there in the pop-up. And yeah, I think on IQ, period, you're absolutely right. She's going to be better than Jackal on Border.
Especially when you can do this, especially when you look on G2's side of things, and what do you have? Mute jammers, bandit batteries, a pulse, and 2 yokai drones to boot.
Yeah, you have to bring the IQ, especially when the Valkyrie's not banned, and the IQ's not banned. Pulse is banned. I mean, we've been seeing so much Pulse in this tournament. He's been such a powerhouse of an operator so far. He clearly has become one of the mainstay information ops. Fabian, speaking of, on Pulse, takes out Scyther, and jNSzki follows that up with a kill onto Karzheka. So it's going to be some really good frags from G2 to start things off. The aggression teller's working, but it'll finally be punished as Joystick takes out jNSzki on the east stairs.
Look at how little HP Joystick has. Now you got 2 minutes left. Joystick can go for a reset if he wants. Sitting somewhere around 15, 16 HP, but there you go. The UMP is a low DPS. There wasn't much left to Joystick. He peeks the double windows, looking in the lobby. He falls, down goes Diffuser. Shockwave is in, watching the windows, heading on over from Tellers over towards bathrooms. There's one member at G2 who's gonna be just on the other side of that castle barricade. Tag in a yokai to try and give you the information that you need, and while Shockwave could be in for a rough ride downstairs if his position is given away. Need a lot on Sheppard to try and keep the rest of the round in check here. One thing worth mentioning is that the longer that this series goes, you have to expect it will benefit a team like G2. They've been around longer, they've played a lot more matches, they're used to the grind, whereas Empire is just a team who has not been around as frequently. If Empire can stick with it, that'd be an extremely impressive feat.
Gonna have to be a clutch here for Empire. The reason G2, in my mind, was able to win the last map was the clutch factor. They won a lot of rounds they shouldn't have. Empire, not so much. When Empire gets locked out, put in a losing position, it's really difficult for them to make the comeback happen. Can start things off here with a nice kill onto Kantoraketti though, so it's still very much in the cards for Empire. Brought this back to a much more manageable man differential as Shock going for the nade, or just prepping it, getting ready for a potential grenade into sight. Sheppard, meanwhile, going to be coming by customs. Now, Sheppard has the diffuser, and he's pretty far from the site. Probably going to go for a push into B, potentially A, based on what's going on with his lifeline. Soft destruction here from Shock, going to work in his advantage. He sees the knee of the pulse, but doesn't decide to shoot. Goes for the shotgun instead, and that's actually the castle who goes down. Fabian elsewhere. Still control bathroom for the defender. Wow, what a shot from Goga. Oh no, it's a trade in a 1 versus 1 now. Shock find themselves in a much more winnable position. Fabian just outside of sight, but he just needs to wait. 3 seconds left, the shotgun from Shock, and he goes for those pre-fires, but he's not able to find anybody. And it's a successful defense for G2. And I stumble over myself at least 3 times.
Was it 3? Only 3?
4 possibly.
That's okay. I saw you at the time. You're like, dear God.
Oh no.
I did it again.
So, Armory defense next for G2 because they went to ventilation for the very first round. That was a little bit of a trip up, and it did catch Empire off guard.
So we'll go to Armory. A good choice there of sites, and then they'll leave customs as well as bathroom, as we mentioned before.
Okay.
As the 2, but
okay.
Okay, what?
You didn't see it? That's good. That's good you did, Parker.
I didn't see it. I was looking at the other screen.
Don't you worry your little head about it. It's okay.
Tell me what it was.
No.
Tell me later.
Yeah, I'll tell you later.
Okay, cool. It was a nice run out from Pengu as well as it's being shown on the screen. These are the kind of things that when we play on LAN, we have the opportunity to catch the perspective of every single person in the match. It gives us the ability to show you what happened if it doesn't get caught. Sometimes things can get a little messy. You end up with multiple kills happening over a very short period of time. You just can't capture them all. So thank you. That replay system is great. Here's something a little abnormal. Pengu is going to be bringing impact grenades on smoke. There's only 1 set of barbed wire on G2. That's going to be Goga. You got to imagine. Impact grenades on a smoke, rotates, or deliberate impact trigger.
I mean, a lot of the counterplay in terms of hard destruction is less prevalent on this map in general, I find. Usually the hard destruction is a foregone conclusion and teams will play around the expectation that a wall is to be opened. We have seen some deliberate plays from impact tricking, for example, on Armory Wall. You leave one of the panels soft so you can do just that, and that makes it a little bit harder for the attackers to get control of Armory Wall if that's the push that they're committed to. But it's not as common here on board. This is interesting though, the way that the bandits are set up.
Bomb has been located.
They're just trying to hold on to Office. And it's actually no presence in Office itself from G2. They're simply delaying the push right now.
3 of the G2 members are actually downstairs. Jonas is over by the main office, he goes into Tellers, or the main lobby, he goes into Tellers. You've also got Fabian down by the main stairs. There you go, Kanto gets back to site. So Kanto and Pengu are both in site. Goga sitting over by A. There's your lineup for the time being for G2's side of things. G2 went for an early push on ventilation workshops, got under the skin of Empire, and it netted them 2 kills, and despite that, Empire was able to close that gap very fast and draw even. But it's been a slow contest. 1 minute and 20 seconds, Empire in. You've got Karzheka right now in waiting room. Kantoraketti finds a Joystick. Joystick had an okay round, an okay match in particular. There's Karzheka, but finally lands the shots on Jonas, almost losing it. I don't think the bandit thought that East Stairs was going to go that way. Pengu on a run out, gets spotted, a grenade will go on in, and Pengu will manage to get away.
Kantoraketti setting up a C4, and he's gonna land it perfectly on top of East Stairs. 2 for him, and Empire find themselves seemingly already out of the round.
He's still got some hard destruction for Scyther. Shockwave, a bit of frustration. He'll go on to repel. He doesn't really have much to clear out the bandit batteries. I mean, he could technically pluck them from below. He doesn't have any frag grenades.
Look at this angle from Goga. All the way from Armory Lockers onto that north
How do you get
balcony.
up there, Goga?
He made the vault from the little half wall.
I know how to get up there. I was making a joke.
Okay, all right, Parker.
As in, like, it's absurd that he's up there.
It is absurd, Parker. You're absolutely right, and that is a crazy angle, one we very rarely see utilized, and I don't think has been on camera until just now.
There's nobody over there now. Shockwave is so close. Shockwave might get spotted if he looks the wrong way. 30 seconds to go. Scyther will need to waltz on into the site and go for a plant. He hasn't used his XKros yet. He hasn't really needed to, as all the bandit batteries are stopping him for the time being. Oh, but there's Kanto, his third kill, and Pengu takes out Shockwave, and G2 are fired up. They'll take it 2-0. A very quick round and a bit of a flurry at the end there.
The trepidation showing from Team Empire in the way that they're attacking in these rounds is pretty obvious. They're trying their best to establish some control over Office, but despite the light hold that G2 has on Office, Empire are still struggling. That round was an absolute lockout. G2 had control for the whole extent of it. And it all is in this room right here, where Kantoraketti had an excellent one. And I believe actually a 4K total for Kantoraketti, as he got that early pick that we missed earlier in the round. So an impressive round, that's for sure. Pengu locking it out, the last one. And it's really that last round was the story of Kantoraketti getting 4 in Office by himself. It'll be Tellers as the next site. Since Ventilation and Armory have been held, they have to go to one of the 2 off-sites, Customs or Tellers. And this is the low-hanging fruit, as we like to say, where you can potentially bring it back as an attacking team and start getting those rounds in your favor. But with the way, again, we've been seeing Empire attack, I'm not so sure.
10 seconds left before insertion.
The grand final of the Paris Major was 24 rounds in total in a best of 5. This is our 25th round played today, and we're on map 2.
It's been a long match so far. It's been a long match.
Thank you, EG, for sending us home early that day.
Ooh. There's a staring contest going on between Troy and Parker right now.
He chose to sit right next to the booth.
I wish you could see it. All right, so G2 is setting themselves up to hold on Tellers. They've got a very deep roam going on here, all the way over by Customs, even inside of Armory. They're just doing their best to set themselves up to fall back. And that makes sense. On this site, you have to have vertical control, but if you allow the enemy to set up against you, it's going to be a tricky time to hold.
What was the major stumbling block of Empire last round? It was taking control of Office and taking control of Archives. And what looks to be a similar stumbling block this time. A C4 gets tossed out, but it will miss Shockwave, taking so much damage, but still ends up alive. As throwables from both Kanto and Shockwave are used to great effect. It's now jNSzki in trouble inside of the Armory, and he'll hit the deck as he's getting Jackal tracked. Goes back to Goga, to his loving arms, to see if the Valkyrie can keep him alive. At least for the time being. Karzheka will double flash and stun himself with the lifeline. A bit of a misuse of his utility there, 90 seconds in. Pengu looks for a body, sees Karzheka. Kanto will get credited with the kill, even though it should have realistically been Pengu's. Another body of Empire on the vents. Look to be ready for a pre-fire from G2, but walks away. As Fabian with his cardiac sensor out, but he's looking the wrong way. And an easy kill for Joystick, who's gone off of the IQ and onto the Jackal. And Empire will try to answer back. Additionally, we saw the Thermite of Scyther get an exothermic charge down. Shock takes out Kantoraketti, a double kill as jNSzki walks right into his crosshairs. And Empire finds themselves going from a 4v5 to a 4v2 in very quick time.
Currently no anchors for G2, and Pengu's gonna get one, but Sheppard will shut him down inside of Office. Goga in the main hallway, the last hope in this round for G2, and he's gonna try and push his way up the main stairs. Now this is a very loud rotation, but it doesn't seem like anyone from Empire is aware, expecting likely an anchor. Oh, but Joystick well positioned, and Empire will take their first round in map number 2.
Joystick utilizing one of the small holes that was made from the frag grenade that was tossed in earlier on. Now keep in mind, it can be a little tricky for teams to be able to time a frag grenade to open up some of the wall. It wasn't its intended purpose, but just a small little piece was all Joystick needed to be able to see the last member of G2.
Now, looks like we're gonna be going to ventilation again from G2. Makes sense. We've gone full circle, as we like to say, 3 rounds played. So we get to go back to the original site for G2, which they were successful on. It was a pretty close round, all things considered. That last round we just saw, the way that Empire played it out, biggest boon they were able to accomplish was the fact that nobody was watching the entrance into the site. And had a lot of them pretty easy control, all things considered. As well as really light control over Workshop. And G2 were relying on that control being there. So it would have been nice to see somebody supporting the Pulse. Not the case though. We're gonna go back to the actual site ventilation workshop this time around. And it's the same operators being brought by both teams, or so it seems.
I mean, this lineup has worked. The one thing that we can say from Empire is that they often do the same thing over and over and over again, and it works effectively. A lot of times when Empire try to attack border, they come from the office side. G2 knows this, and so far that's been pretty close to the case for Empire. So if G2 stacks up all their utility on the same side, they know Empire is going to come from that angle. If Empire adapts, either mid-round or midway through this this attack that they have, which is the perfect opportunity. We are in the round 4 of the 6 rounds in which Empire will be on the attack. There's a possibility that they could manage to confound G2 and waste some of that utility, or squander some of the utility that G2 has established over on the office side. But it doesn't look like that's going to be the case, as Empire getting their ducks in a row over by that office wall.
They've got control of east stairs, but we've seen this hurt them in the past. C4 from Kantoraketti, still a potential play, but it hasn't happened just yet. Joystick playing on that northeast window, looking to push into offices. He's aware that there's potentially someone on top of the shelf, and there is. It's Pengu. He gives his position away, forced to rotate because of that. An easy kill could have happened onto the castle there had Pengu lingered, but he decided to rotate in the nick of time. Joystick still going to be playing on that window, very patient. May goes in from Shock to try and clear out some counter utility. There's a rush, though, it seems, down by Tellers. G2 just gets to the engagement. There it is, Fabian on that rush, and Shock is the one who comes out underneath.
Joystick sees that there's presence inside of Armory, not just because of the Jackal tracks, but he might physically have seen it as well. Goga, Fabian downstairs, as Fabian will be brought back to life after his engagement down in the bathroom. So he got that opening frag for his team, taking out Shockwave. Still, G2 has not conceded control of Armory. Empire have struggled to clear out that second floor on every single attack that they have, and they're going to be without the buck. It's a set of frag grenades that are down, they're only one, and good soft destruction to boot. Minute left.
That wall being opened into archives is going to allow for more angles in the way of Joystick. Empire is still fixated on taking control of Armory, but have yet to accomplish that goal, and G2 are going to double down. Kantoraketti takes out Sheppard. Jonas still playing above, using that metal wall to his advantage. Joystick still looking for a fight. He'll find one, but not land the shot, and his patience is working against him at this point. Trying to take control of bathroom. He's looking for the angle. It's really difficult to find. Scyther will flash his way in, and no down on the Echo, but he'll finally be eliminated regardless. Empire gets another one there onto Fabian. So it's a 3-3 finally, Empire starting to fight back. Only 20 seconds to go, and Joystick setting up the smokes, allowing for the rush. Still vertical control for G2. Kantoraketti takes out Scyther, pushing from the bathroom. Jonas upstairs, eliminates Joystick, and it's another for Kantoraketti. G2 get their 3rd round.
Such a different performance than what we saw over Coastline, as it's just G2 all across the board for the time being, on Empire's map as well.
Yeah, well, we did see G2 take their first map, and they seem to want to keep that ball rolling in their favor. They've had a pretty good showing so far on border. We can say this is a little bit more of a defender-sided map, that's for sure, as opposed to Coastline, which is one of the more balanced maps overall. Empire's attacks have been a little bit lacking, I have to say, leaving something to be desired, I think is the way I would look at it. In that last round, the thing to be desired was the clear of the top floor, Parker. It never happened. Jonas stayed upstairs, and that's weird too. Usually G2, when they're roaming above their site, they'll fall back when there's very little time left in the round. Not so in the previous round.
This once again ties into what I said in the previous round. Empire always pushes from office side. If you know that the starting point for Empire is going to be those stairs, it's going to be the office wall, it's going to be the office window, looking to try to go into archives, then it's very easy for you to read and be able to get them as they go to push in. I haven't seen anything convincing from Empire to suggest that they've learned from their mistakes and they can experiment with a different push here on border. Now against other teams in Europe, especially in Pro League over the last month or so, Empire have been able to bully their way into sight. They just win their gunfights. They are incredibly accurate and very lethal in 1v1 positions. But if G2 continuously set up for crossfires where they have, coordinate, try to trade off, and use either a Pulse or a Valkyrie to give early intel that they can capitalize on, then Empire falters because they find themselves down numbers and lacking that utility that they absolutely need to be able to get control of the only place that we ever see Empire attack, which is office on second floor.
In general, the utility play for Empire has been kind of lacking and very impressive from G2 thus far. See the Kantoraketti C4 earlier on top of East Stairs, that angle, that's a really tricky throw. Clearly practiced and well executed by Kantoraketti, and it gave G2 that round. Well, that and, I mean, the 4K total while defending on that site. So, moving forward, G2 now holding on to Armory. Again, their second site in the series, and one they were successful on. Team Empire once again repeating their strategy and going for a push into offices, and it's a rush here from Joystick. He doesn't get his initial kill, and now he's been pinned down by two defenders from G2. jNSzki takes him out finally, but it's a re-frag from Shock to take jNSzki down. A back and forth though, as Pengu eliminates Scyther on a run out.
The same run out that Pengu did before. And look at that, G2 almost lost that position. It was very lucky for Empire that there were a couple shots missed from G2 because that could have gone bad real fast for Joystick. He's able to live long enough before getting gunned down though, and Karzheka just took out one member of G2. It was Pengu who fell, so we're back at a 3v3. We've seen this time and time again.
Bomb located.
Worth noting that Karzheka very low on HP, and everybody on G2 is at full health. So it's an advantage for G2 at the moment with a minute to go. There's utility still on the board for Empire, but also for G2. You've got a Mute whose Nitro Cell's been gone. Kanto's gotten it down, but he can't engage at long range. Fabian gets called in. He gets the kill that he needs, and Fabian will now move on over. Sees the Thatcher, can't win the fight. Sheppard takes so much damage in the process, but Kanto also very low. This is winnable for Empire for the time being. They have 30 seconds to gather intel. They'll throw a drone out and wait to see if they can find somebody.
Team Empire now going to be very patient. They have the drones, as you said, trying to find out where these two defenders are. The Yokais are also positioned here from G2, and you can imagine that the defenders who are dead will be calling on those drones for the remainder of this round. Kantoraketti in a very powerful position if he can land the shot, but he won't be able to as Shock gets him from behind. Goga goes for the rush behind B bomb site. He's just given his position away, but the plant's going down and no one's watching. Oh no! Terrible timing from Goga. He was left uncovered, but he's gonna win it anyway. The plant just wasn't committed to. What just happened? No Yokai drone was necessary because there was no commitment from the attacking team.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but that was Sheppard who had the diffuser, the Thatcher, who not only fell off the plant, but fell off the full site and went back into office.
He didn't have eyes on the timer. Clearly, that must have been the case. A very curious round, that's for sure, from Empire.
We see you. We see you. We see your eyebrow raises.
Very impressive.
They weren't that impressive.
Well, okay, they were good doing it.
They were routine.
Shock managing to take out jNSzki from below, and that was a great play because Office has been tricky for Empire. They haven't really been able to get control of it so far on these attacks. Empire finally manages to accomplish control and a decent man count of Archives, but they couldn't go for the plant. I'm so confused as to why the plant wasn't committed to. There must have been something we were missing there.
I just think it was bad coordination.
Yeah, possibly.
Like I said, the longer that this series goes, it's going to weigh on Empire. They are not used to playing these many matches for this long like G2 have. Keep in mind, Empire just made it to Pro League a couple months ago.
True.
That's it. And while their record has been absolutely astonishing, and they are an extremely talented team, they just haven't played in as pressure-filled an environment for as long as a team like G2 has. Now, undoubtedly, both teams are going to be tired. Doesn't matter who you are. But talk to teams when they compete at DreamHack, and they have to play multiple group stage matches a day. They will tell you the same thing. They are not used to playing this much Siege in such a short period of time. It tires us out, you get fatigued. And it will set in at some point for one of these two teams, possibly even both. Final round, though, for G2 on defense. Michael, and there will be no defensive customs, as it will be another bathroom defense downstairs.
Reloading!
Empire doing something a little differently this time, though. With Joystick, he's over by Armory Wall. He's going to drone himself in solo. We're not used to seeing it there.
No, and he's been playing the Jackal instead of the IQ recently, and that's going to free up, of course, G2 to bring Valkyrie, which they have been doing. Very potent operator, given there is no direct counter, and it's going to give a lot of information to G2. That coupled with the Pulse, G2 is going to be able to call these players on Empire quite well, as we just saw. That push from Joystick is now something that G2 is fully aware of. Karzheka, though, on East Stairs, very powerful position on this side especially, is going to try cut off rotation between A and B. He missed an opportunity there, but the line of sight is established. The potential is still there. Karzheka will seize on that potential by taking out Goga. Excellent shot to eliminate the Valkyrie. Kantoraketti refrags, though, onto Joystick, so these information operators are being whittled away one by one.
Fabian, as well as the Buck of Shockwave, in a battle to the death, but oh, goodbye, Fabian. If only you had your cardiac sensor out. We could see from above that both of them were tussling with one another for quite a long period of time. Now it's up to Kantoraketti to hold this in. Pengu gets very brazen, runs outside, finds his hands at the fate of a Claymore. As Kantoraketti picks up kill number 2. He'll work his way back into the bathroom, so he has control, and there's a rotate hole as well, as jNSzki will rotate out. It's a freebie for jNSzki onto Sheppard. He doesn't know there's a body on East Stairs, and Scyther is there to capitalize, and Empire will be in a 2v1. With Kantoraketti left, he's gonna have to find a 4K on the round. But what he has working for him is that Karzheka is so low. Trying to pick off what little is left of him will be a fairly easy task. Kantoraketti will need to go for the counter defuse if Karzheka gets it down successfully. Trying to push in. Oh, it's a freebie for Kanto! He just doesn't need to peek the hatch, as Scyther will need to drop at some point. His position will be given away. A tense moment as Scyther hits one of the bandit batteries and takes a tiny bit of damage. Diffuser is down as Kanto just sits and waits, and they will both just crouch walk their way around, trying to make as little noise as possible. What's going on with Scyther? Well, he's still there. He's gonna go outside. He's gonna go up towards the windows. He might be able to see Kanto. This is a good position, but the debris is getting in his way. You've got 10 seconds to go. Scyther jumps in and Kanto finishes him! G2 takes that round, and Fabian very happy about that one. A tense moment between both of these teams, but just simply a victim of time and circumstance. And Empire trails by a large margin now. It's 5-1 G2 as we will switch sides.
What a clutch there from Kantoraketti. Up against a wall and still able to land his shots. Truly impressive. Now, Armory lockers for Empire, their first defense. They find themselves in a bad spot. 5-1 for that half in favor of G2. What a way to end it. Yes, this is a defender-sided map, but they were winning on the offsites as well. That clutch from Kanto. Again, the clutch factor was the primary reason that G2 was able to take map number 1. They got some early clutches in the match. Some rounds they shouldn't have been able to win.
Defenders, protect your
and we haven't really been seeing that very much from Team Empire so far.
Oh my. Fans of these teams, how are your hearts doing? Kantoraketti has really come alive on this map. Let's give him a little bit of praise here, as he had a bit of a sluggish start on Coastline. He picked it up towards the end, but all of the members of both Empire as well as G2 were instrumental in the success that both of them found through those absurd 22 rounds that we witnessed in map number 1. On map 2 so far, though, Kanto has really pulled more than his own fair share. Obviously, things change when you swap out on sides. Ash being banned will put Kanto on another familiar operator that will be the IQ that he's played many times. In fact, he won a seasonal championship with Ems, playing on just that operator for the most part. As for Empire, well, they're going to be tripling up on information yet again. As you see Scyther, Sheppard, and Shockwave, 3 S members of that team, playing a Valkyrie, an Echo, and a Maestro. One thing that Empire does so well is be able to relay information to one another. The more information they have at their disposal, the better, as that information ends up being powerful.
No pulse being brought here from Empire, which is something that we saw a lot of from G2. But they have all the information ops they need, really, as you said, tripling up on it. The fact that neither Maestro nor Echo has been banned, very unusual, of course. Because of that, able to utilize both of them. set up in Armory, so there's not going to be any kind of mix-up in terms of site selection here for Empire. But they aren't holding on to offices, nor is there any barbed wire in the hallway leading into office itself. There's no Leisha being played, so the information here for Empire is very lacking on office. They have to have a Valkyrie cam or a yokai drone or something to call this. And yes, indeed, it will be a yokai, but lost the yokai in exchange for information. Good information, preventing the rush potential from G2 and forcing jNSzki to rotate, but still a loss of a yokai drone. G2 hits an excellent nade onto Shock. This is that Jaeger band really coming into play. One of the primary anchors there dealt with.
That one yokai that was taken out as well. We saw that somebody from Empire might have tried to pressure jNSzki inside of this hallway. jNSzki knew that and was ready and waiting. There's fountain control, and there you go. The exothermic charge is going to go. This is going to be a perfect flush out for G2 here, and oh my, you are in so much trouble, Echo. Where are you going to go? 2 sites trained on you, a deployable shield to work around, but no! Scyther wins it, and Karzheka gets called into his defense. Empire somehow managed to turn things around on what looked like such a winnable position, and G2 will fall apart as Kanto's in. He's going to grab 2 very fast kills, won't grab the third, and put Pengu in a 1v2 as Empire tries to stave off match point. Don't ever count Pengu out. He's gotten 1 kill so far in this round. He's got 2 good sights working against him. Joystick and Sheppard as Pengu walks in, pop up. He knows he's there, but Pengu misses the shot, and Joystick certainly doesn't. A shake of the head from Joystick as he acknowledges how close that came, and a must-win situation from Empire on Armory upstairs could possibly start the comeback here on their defense.
We talk about this, the defender's definitely in a good spot, as always mentioned on these maps. And Empire proving it there in that round. It certainly seemed like Empire was suffering the lack of a Jaeger when Pengu got the initial kill using a grenade from ventilation balcony. Following that though, a huge failure from G2 to get control of Fountain despite the excessive use of the attacker's utility to make it a softer target. We saw the lifelines, the exothermic charge, so much stacked up on Fountain, and yet a simple deployable shield was all that was necessary from Empire to hold on to Fountain.
Damn, that shot was nasty.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I've seen a lot of those.
Not that there was anything wrong about the way that Empire played that. They actually played that perfectly.
Yeah.
But how did G2 not take one of them out? You have a deployable shield there. You got the Echo sitting on the other side of the wall. You just blew the wall open. How are you not doing it?
I'm just surprised that nobody guessed he would be behind the shield in that round. I mean, that's the current shield. Have you seen the new one?
I did see them.
I suppose the new one actually would have worked against him there. No. In that situation, I bet it probably would have, because he was using it as visual cover as well as hard cover.
Right.
No. Well, that's for the future. Here in the present, ventilation defense for Empire, and they're going to be extending themselves upstairs.
Cover the diffuser. Attackers are moving to defuse the bomb.
All right. I mean, these are the 2 sites that everybody's going to go to. You're going to go to Armory, you're going to go to Vents. That's 1 and 2, straight up.
Yeah, and well, Empire need to have success on their 2 main sites, especially considering G2 were able to find it on all 3 of theirs.
Empire's got 2 bodies upstairs for the time being. Karzheka's in small office with Joystick, playing the same spot that Joystick almost always plays, which is that half wall over top of B bomb site. We've seen him be so lethal there with the Jaeger, but with the Jaeger being banned, you gotta go with another operator to hold that one down. The difference is that you can't push him out when there's an ADS there. You gotta possibly try to do something there, and there's Joystick. He goes for the run out, but he gets cut down. It's a gamble, take out Pengu, but jNSzki immediately refrags. Shock takes out Goga, and everything happening all in the first 45 to 55 seconds of this match.
Great assertiveness there from G2. But it'll break out even because Empire are ready to go toe-to-toe at a moment's notice. Diffuser is down, but that probably won't be a huge factor. G2 are pretty good at keeping track of the diffuser, and they have plenty of time to pick it up whenever they want.
Bomb has been located.
Archives control here for G2. That's a good position to have. They're going to be pushing towards Armory. Looks like it's going to be free. But there is a yokai drone there, so Team Empire are calling out right now that, hey, they're inside of Armory. IQ still in play, but it is on Kantoraketti, who will be forced to whip it out to try and find that yokai drone. And that's really his prerogative. He might not necessarily.
I was just about to ask what utility is still available here, as Fabian has not been the BC of grenades, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
He has missed a number of them, and that obviously is very detrimental to his team. Empire also appear to have a body. It looks to be Shockwave, playing prone inside of that stock room by the window.
It's a good position to flank B when your opponent least expects it. You can deny a plant quite easily. And speaking of denial, we've got a smoke and an echo beside the castle who will be able to flank at a moment's notice. So this is really good control from Team Empire as we hit the last 30 seconds.
Possibility of a run out there will be shut down from Kantoraketti, but have they found Shockwave? No, they haven't. He's low on HP, but he's still by the window. There you go. Kanto will find him. And the Echo all the way up the stairs, and Scyther will manage to take out jNSzki. But any retreat from the Echo, Scyther somehow gets it, but traded off. Not a lot of time for Kanto. It's a 1v1. Sheppard is low, Kanto is low. Kanto has that diffuser, but he's got to get into the site. He's going to have to hurry, and he'll be so exposed. Empire have been gifted this position, expecting the smoke to be there, but Sheppard in a position that Kanto doesn't expect. Played well by the Russians, and they'll take their second round in a row here on Border.
You can see that the call came out there. Kantoraketti knew that the last defender was by default plant spot, which is where Sheppard was. But Kanto expected him to be all the way in the corner, not lingering on the doorway. And excellent positioning there from the smoke allowed for Empire to take that round. What a clutch from Empire. And that's going to put them in a much better spot now, 3-5. Somehow narrowly avoiding that match point.
Some of these shots have been so beautiful on both of these teams. Man, oh man. That one from Kanto onto the castle as well, that was a thing to do.
Scyther playing on main stairs, I mean, that's one of the most vulnerable positions on this entire map, and somehow he managed to get 2 kills from that spot. Truly impressive. Falling back to site, he did get punished eventually, but if he hadn't been able to pull out that weight in the right moment, it would have been a really difficult round for Empire. Look at Kantoraketti, 16 frags, and he is far and above everybody else in this match so far. Now, we're gonna go to the offsite. It's customs here for Empire. They won't go to tellers. They're doing something a little bit different than what G2 showed us. This is the best opportunity by far for G2 to push us to match point. And here's the thing. Empire have only narrowly been winning these previous rounds. I think G2 are in a great spot right now.
G2 just needs to not let it slip away.
Of course, yeah.
You are right now on the precipice of match point.
It's their match to lose.
So close yet so far. And if you let momentum go in favor of Empire, this game, even though you're sitting at 5 rounds, you could end up losing out, and Empire might not even need overtime.
Oh, look at that. A lot of opening kills here for Joystick. The most of any in the tournament. That's quite impressive.
Well, I mean, half the tournament was just played in map 1. So, I mean, that helps.
And he had a lot of runouts on map 1, Coastline. So that contributed quite a lot, I'm sure.
Right.
Here, though, in this round, G2 looking to take control from Office, or at least Kantoraketti by himself. You need to take out CCTV as an attacking team on this site so that you can go for a plant, because vertical control is so important for the defense, which they will use to deny a vault into the A window, as well as a general plant in B from the drop downs.
Joystick knew that Kanto was playing inside of Archives. He has that little punch hole that was created earlier on, but now Joystick's moved all the way to the Armory wall. He might peek, actually, and get cut down by Kanto if he's not looking the right way. It's going to be up to jNSzki to try to flush Joystick out, but Scyther is there to help him out, and now Joystick goes for the late run out. There's nobody there. Kanto will know. Kanto's so close, but where is Joystick? There you go. He heads on over to where Shockwave is, inside of Monitor. Scyther picks up another kill on the Pengu. It's been so good. Now Joystick gets another, Sheppard gets another. Empire's all over the board here. Fabian is upstairs watching the skylight. Man, he is a minute and 15 seconds to grab the diffuser and try to kill every single member of Team Empire, which has been very difficult for G2 to do, even when they're in a 5v5. So good luck, Fabian.
I mean, I said it myself, and I'll say it again, G2 have been clutching a lot of rounds, but I don't see this one happening. Would be one of the most impressive clutches in Pro League or competitive Siege history. He's gonna go for patience, or so it seems. Probably trying to evaluate his situation. He has his hands off the keyboard and mouse right now. The man's just thinking. Give him a moment, ladies and gentlemen. Let him evaluate the options. He'll be droned out by the yokai and forced back. Not able to shut the yokai down until just now. It'll finally get it. Seems he's just trying to bait out some kills. I mean, he knows this is unlikely. Yeah. Fabian, he's just waiting.
And there it goes. He doesn't manage. He still doesn't get it. Oh, he's just waiting. But they just need to bide so much time. Empire can just sit and wait on customs.
I mean, you gotta appreciate the patience from Empire. They know where Fabian is, and they're not going for it. Even in a 1 versus 5, Empire is so fixated on winning that they will not risk pushing the last player alive in any situation. That's an impressive dedication to the objective, knowing they had the diffuser there. Really gotta hand it to them.
Yeah. Empire didn't take a single tactical timeout last game. Not once. G2 took one, they're gonna take their second right now. So teams will be able to talk to each other. I'd have to imagine that during that minute or so that Fabian was just sitting in there, he was probably also talking to his team about it. So let's just continue that discussion onwards.
So that was actually a really smart play from Fabian. He didn't do anything in the round, but extra time to add to the timeout time just to think about what you need to do in the next round. Now, of course, your coach can't talk to you in the middle of a round, but the team, I'm sure, were discussing their next round while Fabian waited there. Overall, that round from Empire, really well put together, managing to just get frags all over the place, and at no point did they get punished for it. Some aggression from Scyther early on, and then the follow-up hold from Joystick, allowing for Scyther to fall back and get more kills later in the round. The CCTV hold overall was pretty strong from Empire, and G2 at no point looked like they were able to deal with that. Fabian was going for a repel, a very exposed one, over by Break Room, but he couldn't make anything work with it. So this tactical timeout, again from G2, will conclude, and we will go to Armory Archives for Empire. This is a great spot for them to be in. They've won 3 rounds in a row now, and they're looking to get a 4th on their best side.
G2 have really lacked information and the know-how to be able to confront these members of Empire. It's been a tough entry for them every single time. And when you've got Joystick not really taking as many chances as he did on Coastline, but he's still going for those entry kills or onto you when you entry, that's a tough spot to be in.
You can see that Kantoraketti actually hasn't gotten a lot of frags in the more recent rounds, but 16 total. That's the highest by far. Very impressively done. Now, again, Armory, great spot for Empire. Last time we were here, G2 looked in good form early in the round. They managed to land some very important nades. Pengu, specifically, on that ventilation balcony, took out one of Empire early on. But following that, it was a rally from Empire to bring it back, and a slow attack from G2 that ultimately really worked against them. Something that's very important to note from G2 is they have decided to bring both Dokkaebi and a glass. A very potent combination of both disruption and lethality in that glass shooting through the smoke. He doesn't have to stand still to see through it just yet.
For people that are unaware, there's going to be changes to glass. Just look up the video, you'll find it.
Yeah, you should really, honestly, the reveal panel, everybody should watch. That was one of the best ones we've ever had.
It was basically like everything that I want.
Right. It was a dream panel. It was, here's everything you want to be changed about these operators, and presented nicely.
Absolutely. All right, so it's going to be an Archives take. The walls are completely soft. There's Shockwave, who doesn't know that there's a glass on the other side of it. The pre-fire, but does not find anything as the glass has control of east stairs. Scyther just simply seated, waiting. G2 going on the drones. I'm amazed at how little G2 seems to know about Empire so far through these 3 rounds.
I mean, it's been the same thing for Empire. Remember their attacking rounds? There was a serious lack of information gathering. And it's interesting to watch. It was actually somewhat the case on Coastline as well for both teams, but the difference being there's less to drone out in general. There's more flanks to hold on Coastline, but less total to drone out in terms of positions to hold. So it's not working the same pace isn't working here now on border, and one of these teams is going to have to change it. You can see the smokes are going to be the attempted change of the pace here from G2, and the C4 goes out, but does not land from Scyther, hitting high above. And the Glaz missing some shots and also breathing in toxic canisters, and he's going to go down. A terrible position for jNSzki to be playing, and some seriously bad missed shots.
I don't understand how Scyther just sits in this position and nobody bothers to push him out. You have so many things working in your favor, but there's Goga and Kantoraketti, they answer back. Joystick going for a rotate through monitors, trying to get into position. Sheppard will move one of his yokai drones in towards the site. Logic bombs go off. So rotate now from Sheppard as well. Joystick can possibly get back into office and cause a lot of problems. The yokai drone's position given away by the gadget of Pengu, and G2 are just one round away from match points, the best chance they have. 30 seconds to go. It's a 4v3. But G2 need to be able to pinch one member of Empire. Joystick gunned down by Fabian, good crossfire and good potential. Karzheka smokes off the site, but he's taken down by Fabian, and Goga goes for the plant, and it's match point. G2 looking to go up 2-0 on this series.
Their first attacking win, and it comes at such a crucial moment. Barely avoiding an even round count. They could potentially push us to number 3. If we get to, well, when we get to map number 3, it will be Bank. And that is, of course, G2's map pick, given that border is Empire's map pick. Empire have not been as good on the site as you would expect, considering it's what they picked.
I think the crowd was like noticeably fatigued after that first map.
Yeah, I mean,
we are. Everybody.
I'm sure the players are.
The players are absolutely. Everybody is. That was a marathon. You know, it's a marathon, not a sprint. You got to be prepared for that.
True. I mean, that's why we theorized. We saw Empire's second pick, Oregon, later instead of sooner.
Kantoraketti has 18 kills. 18 kills.
It's a big contributing factor to the reason they won that round.
Yes, and he has been for many rounds. He clutched, what, 2 or 3 on defense as well, if I recall?
Just about. I mean, he's been clutching quite a lot today. Kantoraketti has been, I think, one of the more clutch players so far on G2. And again, a huge factor for G2 as a whole. Bulletproof camera going into office. Empire expecting an office take here. Makes sense. The way that these rounds have been playing out. They get to defend Armory again, this because they failed it just 5 seconds prior. And at least there's that. After not holding it down, they don't have to go to an odd side on border. But the way that they failed was pretty spectacular. And it was a good execution from G2, despite, and this is very important, the lack of a glass. jNSzki accomplished nothing on that glass, and yet still G2 were successful.
I mean, to be fair, jNSzki did distract, I believe it was Karzheka inside of Archives, and then
I guess
you had Pengu who was able to take him out, playing on top of vents.
Correction then, he established less control than is expected of a glass.
Yes. He needed to land those shots and get that kill. He did not do that at all.
Yes.
So, maybe, hope for something better this time around if you're a G2 fan.
G2 is going to seemingly be attacking from office yet again. Empire are holding it quite a lot harder this time. They've got a bandit playing by the desks, and he looks to want to bandit trick the wall. It's a very powerful position to be in. CCTV control, so that might actually be an armory wall take for G2. Maybe mixing things up. They've got plenty of time for this rotation. There's no reason to avoid something new. Pengu might be able to cut off rotation as well from ventilation windows, so this is a really well-established attack strategy from G2, and it's a free wall because Bandit is tricking elsewhere. Too much focus on offices might be the downfall for Empire in this round, especially considering Glaz is so very powerful when attacking them through armory wall.
I don't know what Karzheka was doing with his shotgun, but he's completely out of shotgun ammo. You heard the out of mag, so he can't play as aggressively, and he will be at the mercy of a very small magazine on that SMG-11. He's playing inside of small offices, which is where we currently see jNSzki, but there's 2 for G2 in excellent position. Both Joystick and Karzheka fall, and it's A that is completely open. Sheppard is seated, but Scyther will have to come on in. There goes Shock, and G2 are so close. They just have 2 more to find here on Empire, and a tall task for the Russian squad. And there you have it. Fabian takes 2. They call him the best player in the world. Well, in that position, he's not losing. And G2 will move to championship point, up 2-0.
So, G2 winning on their map pick of Coastline, as well as their enemy's map pick of Border. And on Border, much more decisive than Coastline was, of course. Now, going to map number 3, Bank, that is G2's map of choice.
So, with that said, once again, back to our analysts. 19 kills for Kantoraketti. Both he and Karzheka coming just a couple away from breaking that record. This time it didn't need 40 rounds of overtime, but Kanto came close. A good effort. We got Bank up next, but Milos, tell us exactly what happened and what you all think of that particular performance on Border.